Okay, hi you guys. So this video is going to be about how to never get ghosted again, how to be unghostable, okay? If that's not a word, it is now. So if you haven't watched my last video, definitely watch that one. This is basically a follow-up video for that one, and I'm also going to make a video on how I got rid of a third party, or at least I think I'm going to make one step by step. If you guys want a video like that, please comment, because I had one comment about that. So if you guys all comment, or a lot of people want it, I will definitely do that video, okay? About how exactly step by step I got rid of a third party, okay? And how it only took me a week, okay? So, but this video is just about simply how I changed into the version of me that never gets ghosted, okay? That was literally, in the last video, that was the last time that I ever got ghosted, okay? And it was really hurtful and really hard for me. Like, any of you have ever experienced that, it's a tough situation to be in, right? Because you don't have answers, you feel like you're left out in the cold, you know, but you've got to understand your contribution to that, right? You've got to realize this is your world. Like, you are contributing to the fact that you got ghosted by the thoughts you are thinking. And so I'm just going to go into exactly what I did. And honestly, since my computer is dying right now, I'm going to have to read this to you immediately, okay? And then I'll go into the steps. So let me just read this little thing that I wrote really quickly to you guys. It's simply just what I wrote this morning, because I knew I was going to do this video, and it's just about what exactly I did. And these are some of the steps, but not all of them. It's just a little note to you guys. Okay, so what I did to never get ghosted again, my shifts. I took the best care of myself. So I want to just say the first and probably most important step, and this has to do with everything I have written here, is to take all of the focus off of them and put it on you. And I know you've probably heard this before, but the magic in that is, because you are the source, you are the one consciousness, and your connection to the fact that you are the one consciousness is the most important part. And so it's the most important part of creation. It's the most important part of learning how to deliberately create things in your life. And we're not creating, right? We're just lining up with it because it's already created. But I say create because, you know, it's a way to just say it. But materialize, I could say too, because it's just bringing something into a visual, you know, into our visual awareness, basically, right? So you are bringing that into visual awareness. You're bringing the fact that no one ever would ever ghost you, no matter what, in your reality. You're bringing that into your world as a part of your world, okay? And so the way you do that is you understand that you are the center, you matter most, right? And so when you bring the focus back off them and onto yourself, it is so powerful. And you know, this has skyrocketed my manifesting abilities. Not only did it get rid of a ghosting situation, you know, and allowed me to never get ghosted again, and gave me such self-value, it also helps greatly in manifesting, right? So I wanted to start with that. And another thing I wanted to say is, when you focus on you, they focus on you. When you focus on them, they focus on them, right? So if you want to get what you want, you know, and you want to be loved and cherished and valued and never be ghosted, you know, ghosting is a form of rejection. So what I'm really talking about here is never being rejected again, never being left on cold, left on red, never being left out in the cold with no answers, never being neglected in any way, right? That's really what we're talking about here. It's not just ghosting, but ghosting is included in this. And these are steps to never be rejected again, basically, because ghosting is just one form of rejection, right? We can all agree on that, I think. So I had to take a step away from this just to say that, because it's important to realize taking the energy away from them or anyone else and putting it back on you is the most important thing. And then this is basically what I did within that, okay? So value myself. This is what I did exactly. And then I'll go on to the steps. I did mirror work. So that was one of the first things I did. I woke up and told myself that I'm amazing and anyone would want me, right? And this was right after a ghosting experience, and I promised myself that I would never be ghosted again. I was like, this is not going to happen to me again, right? And if any of you have ever had that experience, a lot of you do want that, right? You know how painful it is. So you make the promise to yourself, you know, and that was an important part of this for me. I really did make the promise to myself that this isn't going to happen to me again, right? I'm going to change my mentality. I'm going to change the way I view myself so that this never happens again, okay? And I'm going to value myself to the degree where this would never be a part of my world, okay? So I'm sorry, I keep going off on tangents, but this is really important stuff. So I woke up every day and I said, I'm an amazing person and anyone would want me. I would always say, so mirror work is just looking at yourself in the mirror and saying things that you want to believe about yourself, that, you know, things of value, you know, things you want to know and believe about yourself. You can say you're so valuable. You can say, I'm so valuable, no one would ever leave me. You can say, I'm so wanted and cherished. You know, those are some of the ones I said. Or, I'm so lovable. I love so deeply and people deeply love me. You know, things like that. So I did mirror work about value, self-value, self-worth, cherishing myself, things like that. Okay. And then I said, I'm so unique, and I train myself to fully be myself instead of pretending to be someone else at times for approval. Okay, this is a big part of it for me. And not everyone will have to do this because you didn't have self-worth issues growing up, possibly, but a lot of people did. So this was something I did to address the fact that I didn't feel good enough a lot of times, you know, and I did feel like people were neglecting me at times, and I didn't always have a parent there telling me I'm amazing, right? You know, a lot of times my parents weren't even around, you know, which gave me other skills, but, you know, there were things that I felt like I lacked, which even if you grew up in the best environment, you're going to lack things, you know, or something that you thought you might have needed, right? So anyway, so that was one thing. I did do, you know, I did a lot of self-love stuff and made sure to tell myself that I could be fully myself, and I would be loved for being fully myself. And I've said this in previous videos, you know, this is an important part of this because a lot of times we think we have to be better, or, you know, we have to be someone else, right? We have to be different in order to be loved. And that's not true, you know, and once you're fully accepting yourself, and that's not to say you're not improving, right? Because we're always improving. I want to be better too, even though I've reached a level that I might have thought I never would have reached, you know, 10 years ago, right? But even though I'm here, I still want to be better. I still want to think of ways to improve and be aware of my beliefs and change them when I find one I don't like, things like that, right? So it's not that who you are isn't good enough, right? Who you are is way more than good enough. And I don't even like saying I'm good enough. I don't like that at all. I like saying I'm way more than good enough, right? So that was maybe something you can say in the mirror too. So this took me a while. It was not overnight. I also went to therapy, not coaching, right? Because therapy has, you know, different benefits, right? And because I had trauma from my childhood that made me feel like people would not love me for who I really am. So I kind of went over that already. I had perfectionism. I tried to be loved a lot. I went along with things I didn't want to do to be loved. Okay, so a lot of you might have that too, and that's what mirror work is really good for too. I have changed all of that. I started giving myself what I needed and wanted also. So you want flowers, buy them. You want wine, get it. You want an amazing dinner, treat yourself, get it. Enjoy your solitude. That was another thing I did. My solitude is sacred now. I got to the point where I loved myself so much that I didn't even want a relationship. And isn't that funny, right? I literally came to the point where I was like, I don't need that, right? And when you don't need anything, that's when people always want you. They will always answer you back because you don't really care that much. Okay, so that's just my note, and my little iPad is dying, so I just want to read that before it went kaput. So So that's the beginning of all this, and I'm going to go through the steps as well. We're already at 10 minutes. I'm going to try to hurry up. I'm trying not to make my videos more than 15 minutes nowadays. So anyway, so that's a lot of good stuff that I would start with. Obviously, you can do any of these things, none of these things. You can think of your own ways to boost yourself and love yourself and value yourself, right? But I do think taking the focus, I think no matter what you do, taking the focus off of them or off of basically anyone else and putting it on you is very important, because you are where everything stems from, right? So it's just such a valuable thing to do. Okay, so here's my list, and I'm just gonna go through it. So I went over a lot of some of these already, and it's just gonna be I'm just gonna do them in order here. So choose yourself, pursue interests, take classes. So work on yourself, or just do not like you have to work on yourself, or and all this stuff is optional anyway, but this is just some ideas, the stuff that I did that helped me, right? So I just started thinking about, what do I want to do? Like, as if you were a child, you almost want to, especially if you had issues growing up or you had childhood trauma. I learned to treat myself kind of like a child. Like, I'm the mom and the child, basically. Like, I would ask myself, like, what sounds good to you? Is there a class you might want to take? Is this something you would like to learn? Maybe you want to learn a language, or maybe you have an interest that, it's really good to explore your interests, because then it's a form of loving yourself and valuing yourself and allowing yourself to be the real expressed you and to expand in ways. I mean, we're here to expand. I've said that before too. So that's number one. Number two is invest in yourself, like in any self-growth stuff you might want to do, like counseling or inner work. Okay, and I did both of those things. Number three is give the stuff to yourself that you would want from someone else. Like, love yourself like you would want someone else to love you. Go take yourself out, go do fun things. Don't wait, basically. Don't wait for the person to come in to give you love. Don't wait for them to take you to dinner. Don't wait to make amazing meals till you have someone there. Do it for yourself, because you love yourself and you're practicing valuing yourself. Okay, so these are all the things I did. So number four is I felt lots of love in the love that I have in my life, right? And I've said this as a way to feel, generate more and more love. You can just start feeling love in little ways, like the fact that your dog always hugs you, or, the fact that the mailman always smiles and they always put your packages underneath the thing so it doesn't get wet, or little things like that. The fact that you get free stuff because they couldn't find the code. That happened the other day at Whole Foods. They couldn't find one of the codes, so they just gave it to me for free. Things like that. You just appreciate the love that's already in your life, and this will do wonders. Okay. And then number five I have here is it's change yourself. Oh, okay. I thought, okay, so I think that was it, actually. I think that was it. I don't know, maybe I said five then, but this should give you a really good start. Okay. And in any way you can think of pulling the energy back to yourself, just do that. Whatever feels good for you, and maybe number five was, I think I didn't maybe write it down, but I think it was just spend time with yourself, getting to know yourself. I think that was one of my big ones. And I spent time just by myself in silence, and just meditating and taking care of myself and just spending time with myself. Valuing and cherishing your time with yourself is so important, and it really builds value, and it's a cumulative thing. Just like they say meditation is cumulative, so is appreciation for yourself, and so is time with yourself. You learn to appreciate yourself the more time you spend with yourself, valuing and cherishing yourself. Okay, so it really is about self-concept, self-love, self-cherishing, self-actualization, if you want to call it, just really valuing yourself to another level. And I promise you, like what happened with me, I never got ghosted again. No one ever left me out cold ever again. Okay, so it's really it's really a beneficial thing to do, this self work. So I hope this video was really helpful. Oh, also, the person who won the coaching, and if you don't want it, please tell me and I'll give it to someone else, but it's the Colorado guy. I think sorry, I should have written it down. The rocker guy. I think you'll know who you are. It's the only guy who mentioned Colorado in the notes in below. Okay, so my sister was listening to the song. Okay, I gotta tell you guys, my sister was listening to the song You Got a Fever for the Rock and Roll. I don't even know how it goes, but that's, if you want to know why she picked that person, that's why. Okay, so I love you guys. Please thumbs me up if you loved this. I know you loved it because it's valuable stuff. And I'll see you soon. I'm gonna do lots of videos coming up. I've got so many videos planned for you guys. I'm really excited about all the stuff I'm gonna be doing. You guys love the brain stuff, so I'm gonna be talking about what I do to enhance my brain and things I do, you know, routines I have and things like that. So I will talk to you guys soon. Bye guys. If you love Neville, if you love changing your life, if you love transformation and my unique perspective, stick around. I'd love to have you guys. Bye guys.